right, hello and welcome back for our awards ceremony. A seasonal thing, and it helps to build out All-Star Week. Now, of course, I will not be going through this alone, as let me undeafen here. And I do have Koa and Stewie. How are you two doing tonight?
Doing splendid, doggo. It's good to be back. Good to be here.
Absolutely.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good to hear it. Now, couple of reminders just about kind of how we do things. I think they came into play less this season, but at least one of them that typically we do factor in team performance to a degree somewhat highly because, again, doesn't matter how good your stats are. If, for example, saves, if your team is low on the standings, you're going to be more likely to get saves. Or if you're getting really good stats, but your team isn't one of the best, how much do they really have an impact, you know? So we take that into account. And then I'll also mention that when it comes to player awards, we do only give one per team. Any comments from you guys?
If you don't like that, cry about it. I do not feel bad. But yeah, super excited to get into this. Dewey, thank you for being here. Couch couldn't make it, so
Thank you
you
for
have
inviting me.
Stewie, you had input on at least one award. We'll get to that.
a little bit.
A little bit.
Just like a good 5 seconds of
I don't know if it
talking.
was helpful, but he had input.
Yeah. Came in and said exactly what we said, and then
left.
We were like,
Did
hey,
not
we're
agree on
between
the
two
decision.
players. What do you think? And he was like, I think it's between those two players. So
But you didn't inform me on who the players
No.
were, you know?
that
Well,
was
we did that on
intentional.
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that on purpose.
You affirmed that we were in the right path, not how to narrow it down. But hey, we can get back to that later. Not sure how much more there is to say. We're gonna start with Prism, then we're gonna have our community in between, and then we're gonna go over to Pixel to wrap things up. I don't know how exactly long this will be. Last season's was like an hour. I would guess this will be the same, if not shorter, probably. But we'll see.
All right. We're gonna start it off with our offensive player. Obviously, we said
All right.
already that we're start with Prism.
Yep.
So we will be doing our offensive player for Prism here. Yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. This guy, he's a great guy. Haven't talked to him much, but the guy, he's a dog. He's really good. He's from a really good team. Without further ado, our offensive player of season 3 is Boston. Had an absolutely outstanding season 3 here. Second on goals, had the best team record, 128 shots, 33% shooting. Yeah, most assists. Really balled out here, especially late season. Moving over to Round Rock, but yeah, outstanding season from the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I will say pretty much all of the awards this season were tough, much more than they have been in the past. But I mean, in a prove it season for Boston, you can just see. I mean, second in both of the standard offensive measures, goals and shots, and then also first in assists. Shows that he's involved in all parts of the offense. So he's a great player. A great season from a great player on a great team. Just kind of fits that role. I don't know if there's much to talk about who else was involved. Really?
I mean, yeah, a lot of like our picks this season were very it's kind of similar with the other seasons as well. Just kind of like if they're not MVP, what do they get?
A little bit.
For a couple of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Boston, not a lot to say there.
Stewie, any comment?
Absolutely outstanding.
I mean, he's probably one of the top Prism players in my opinion. Very solid player. So yeah, I think this is well deserved for the man. I don't talk to him much, but yeah, pretty well deserved in my opinion.
Absolutely. I think, like I kind of alluded to, last season was rough for him, coming in as one of the expected better players, and then just kind of stuck on Miami. Didn't perform the best, but this season, once he got to Houston and then Round Rock, obviously you can see great numbers and has propelled that team to be the number one. So great season for him. Definitely deserves it. Do we think we're ready to move on then?
Yeah, Stewie, why don't you? Yeah.
All right. And now going into the defensive player of the season, and this guy, this guy for sure, he's had a very great season, very well-rounded player.
Cut the
Probably
PR.
one of the. I mean, I suppose.
Say what you
but-
really think.
No, I can't do that. But, everyone knows I have a love-hate relationship with this guy, but without further ado, the defensive player of the season goes to the man, the myth, the legend, Koa. And Koa ended the season with 33 goals, 113 shots, 23 assists, 65 saves, and 51 demos. So that's pretty great season for him on the Nightmare.
Koa, I'll let you.
Doggo.
How does it feel, Koa?
Feels pretty terrible. We suck. That's why we had so many saves, because we suck.
Oh,
No.
for sure.
Yeah, when we were going through awards, if you guys go look at the stats, like, our team is ridiculous with how close everything is. Doggo had 67 saves. I had 65. And then the next closest, I can't remember where they were at.
Red guy has like 60, 61, I think.
But yeah, we were just kind of like, we kind of narrowed it down to one of us.
61.
We brought Stewie in. Stewie was like, I don't know, one of you two. I was like, well, thanks. And then Couch came in and decided it. So thank you, Couch. I appreciate your
Yeah.
bias.
In part, we weren't sure which way to lean, and in part, it felt really weird for us two to sit there and say, "Yeah, I think it should go with us." So
Yeah, it was a little strange.
it was like hard for us to want to separate it, so we looked for outside. Now, again, just kind of talking about it, Koa isn't given a placement on his saves, but he would actually be fourth with the third most in the league. Obviously, there are a couple above. I think it's Jay and then maybe Lemon, with Cole Bob also being up there. But those players are obviously on teams that didn't make the playoffs, which will just kind of inflate their save numbers. And then it's pretty much Koa and I. That, again, I have two more than him, but that's essentially the same thing. So it just kind of came down to, okay, it's basically us in the conversation. Who shows more as the defensive player on the team? And so that's why, again, we went to outside input to see who people thought filled that role better. And then it came back as Koa.
Yeah, go me.
Yeah.
Boo. Boo. That man.
Acknowledge me. Put your ones up.
No.
Acknowledge me.
Don't acknowledge this man.
I
It's
don't
far.
I don't know. I agree with Panda. More like Bua.
Yeah. Boo.
I'm excited to see how Panda keeps going up with these ways to negative make the names.
And Bua.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. All right.
Do we want to move on to manager here?
I think we're good too. Yeah. Another one, kind of hard to decide, kind of hard to find a way to look. But in the end, we came to a result, and it's actually a first-time manager, as the Season 3 Manager of the Season for the Prism League will be Stewie. How's it feel, man?
feels weird, coming from player to manager and then, winning manager of the season. It just feels weird, But, it's great. Appreciate you guys choosing me, I suppose.
Yeah, this one was there was definitely some conversation about who we thought deserved this award. Some names were thrown out. I think I was the first one that threw out Stewie. I said
I think so.
He came in, obviously was going to just be a player, didn't get drafted. Bacon asked him to manage a team this season with 3 consolation picks and made a winning team. Was doing really well. Obviously, have some missteps, but was doing really good. Was in the top 3, I think, for most of the season. So
Hmm.
that's kind of where I sat with it, and so I think that's well deserved.
Yeah, I mean, I think Miami has been a team that's hard to place, but placement isn't everything. And you can see at the bottom, they were top 5 in 9 out of the 11 weeks of the season. So that shows that. Also, you can see the 4 trades, 2 roster changes, really just trying to make it work. And it pretty consistently was, but just trying to find that perfect roster. Then Koa mentioned filled the manager role after the draft and had to pick from that. And then even as a non-playing manager, this is someone you see who's always in their team call, making sure that he can be available to that. So obviously there were other names out there. You can mention like a Kilo, like a Nels, all those, but didn't feel like many had the impactful trades that we like to put a focus on. Or there's like a Halio, but there's been like some forfeits and some he's missed games and stuff like that in there. So just feels like Stewie kind of embodies it all.
Woohoo.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
No crazy panda.
No, he called me Gooey Pooey.
Oh,
Uh oh.
And then
Or-
Stinky. So I'm Stinky and Gooey Pooey, apparently.
God damn it. But yeah. Do we want to?
I think
Wanna
we
go
can
next?
we can advance. So then moving over to our MVP, like we said, a lot of the time it does kind of come down to who, if they don't get MVP, what do they get? So you might be able to guess kind of who's in the conversation, but at the end of the day, only one can win it, even if they might still get that top 3 nod. But our one winner for the season 3 MVP is going to be Hallow, with Halio and Boston also being in that top 3.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot to say. He was first in goals. Especially on his team, he was definitely the standout.
Yeah.
Um, absolutely killer stats this season. On a really good team. Yeah, I mean, stellar season for Hallow.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Very great man.
Yeah. Obviously only first in goals, but pretty high in all the other stats, especially 36% shooting. Was pretty consistently the guy on their team. Meanwhile, Halio, maybe not quite the performance we've seen from him in the past, and then of course built up a much stronger team around him towards the end here. Boston, we've already talked about. I will also mention sometimes, we kind of lean like, hey, maybe this thing happened in the season. We don't. Like, we kind of lean away from giving an award. But especially in Prism, there's kind of that everywhere. Like, Hallow, you can point to this last week, but I mean, I think handled it pretty well. And it's just a one thing. Versus Halio, missed a lot of games. And then Boston, you can look at that last week on OKC. So there's a lot going on all across the board, but great season from him. He's been in the conversation every season. Kind of makes sense to give it to him.
Yeah, has definitely been one of those top guys. Again, you said that kind of down season almost for him, and even then, still putting up the numbers he has. So about time bro won an award, and congratulations, Hallow.
And Panda has a lot of names on this one.
I'm gonna give bro a DM real quick.
And I gave that man a lot of names.
He did. He went through, what, we got 4?
Yeah, Panda, dude, you're not getting it. It's so
Oh,
that's diabolical, Panda.
Panda's got his
All
Black
right.
Air Forces on today. Woke up and chose violence.
I think we're ready to move on from our MVP then.
Yes, we are. Bro should be
Cool.
joining.
Crazy.
There
hair.
he is.
All right. Now, of course, we do have Koala here, I believe, to guest present our community MVP, but this is an owner voted award for someone in the community they feel deserves recognition. So, let you take it away.
Yeah, so I'm here as, I guess, representative of ownership to announce the community MVP award that, like Doggo said, we voted on. This award goes to a community member who consistently shows up for the community, someone who demonstrates dedication, shows leadership, stays positive, and is always active in like meaningful discussions. They bring the same reliability you'd expect from a solid third man, the same awareness as a good rotation, and the same impact as a well-timed challenge.
We're going crazy.
So, with that, season 3 community MVP goes to Pit Cop.
Yay, Pit Cop!
Yeah, Pitt. He said he wasn't winning any awards. There you go. Point and laugh. This guy thought he wasn't winning anything.
Point and laugh. Point and laugh at the man.
Yeah, he's always honest about the next podcast. There's no doubt about it.
I wanted to say when's the podcast, but he's not someone who says that. He's someone who appears every time and says, guys, the next podcast will be coming eventually, I swear.
Yeah.
Today's
it
the
will
day.
be here. It will be. All right. So yeah. Thanks, Big Cop. And yeah, I guess that's my time.
Well, thank you, Koala.
Thank
We
you.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
See ya.
Get you.
Yeah, I mean, we said it. He's active in the Discord. He's quite often in the Twitch. He's been a manager in all 3 seasons and hasn't really had problems with that. Like we said, he's always engaging with the podcast. And then, of course, pretty consistently, again this season as well, he's sponsoring the bracket contest. So really driving engagement in that way too. So love to see it.
As he plugs his bracket in Twitch chat.
All right, so we're
I respect it.
changing. No, absolutely.
So I respect it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you, Pitt. I think we're good to move on here.
I think so. So then from there, we would move back over to our Pixel League. And so we will start out once again with the offensive player of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here we go. Offensive player of season 3 for Pixel. We have JXL Seek. 51 goals, 146 shots, 35% shooting, 21 assists. Yeah, had a great season. I know that this one was up in the air a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, it definitely went around with some names, but landed on JX. Had a great season. Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna say? 51 goals.
Yeah.
Monster.
I mean, like you can point to, Chance stands out on the team, but all season, JXL's offensive numbers have just been insane. Even like saves and stuff for a while, and he still, I mean, to be fair, again, Chance hasn't been to a lot of games, but like his stats just show up so strong, even if he might not be the player who stands out when you watch the game, but he's just so big for that team.
Yeah, I think the conversation we had with Chance was, do we think when he's there
insane,
he looks
Panda.
like the better player? Yeah, we do think that, but JXL being there every week, putting the work in, yeah, I think it was the right choice.
Absolutely.
I love that guy.
And of course, there would be other names in the conversation, but honestly, I think this is the one that stood out just with the numbers and with everything else. So, yeah. Don't know if there's much else to say, honestly.
Congratulations, Jay. But suppose we can move to defensive now?
Absolutely.
All right. So for your defensive player of the season for season 3, this man, I have had beef with this man, but he's very great guy. He's put a good team together, I should say. He's probably one of the top teams, I would say. But your defensive player of the season goes to Wico with, I think he ended with 46 goals,
Completing the
128
character
shots.
arc, by the way.
Yeah, true. 36% shooting, 25 assists, 74 saves, and 26 demos. I think that's a pretty good season for Wico.
Now, I mean, first of all, I will mention, like I just did, last season, this guy won offensive, and the narrative was, well, he has offense, but what else? That's all his stats are. And then this season, he's winning defensive. So, little bit of a character arc there. Yeah, I mean, again, we mentioned team performance, that this Atlanta team was so strong for all of the season, and he's still up there with 74 saves. Also, of course, have to mention Ren, kind of pushing the team along, maybe hurting both of them almost in terms of awards, just because they are both so similar in stats, but still through it all, Wico's stats just very high, very good on a very strong roster, helps to get him across that line.
Yeah, sorry, Jared. Not sorry. They're the number 2 team. Was obviously the save leader on his team. The second place team here going to the playoffs. Absolutely outstanding performance from Wico. As Doggo did mention, him and Ren definitely, I think, stole some stuff from each other here.
Mm-hmm.
They were both very even in their shots and goals, but where Wico outperformed was definitely in the defensive category. So,
yep, and
congratulations.
I will mention Jared. Team 3 wins worse, barely on the playoff line. Obviously, it's a good season, but like we said, it still has to matter how the team performs. If you're getting 93 saves, but the team isn't performing as well, first of all, that could mean that the saves are mattering less. Second of all, teams that perform worse will tend to get more saves because they're forced to play more defense. So, two-way street. Players who are just in that bottom half of the standings get looked at less because the season just looks less meaningful. So there you go. Obviously a great season, but Wico's will just stand above.
Yeah, you talk to him too, Stewie. Let him know.
Make him feel bad.
Womp womp. Don't know
okay. There you go. There you
go. Womp squared. But yeah, we're gonna move on to some manager shenanigans.
Absolutely. Now, this is one that it just feels like a fill in the blank, that there was some discussion, but end of the day, you just can't. It's hard to look in many other directions. So, for your season 3 manager of the season, some might say again, we are going to have to give it to Boomer. Panda said it. I mean, yeah, he had the one trade, the 2 roster moves. It felt like the team was struggling. That's insane, Panda. No, we can't do that one.
Okay.
No, we can't do that one, Panda. No, we can't do that one, bro.
That was a little wild.
That one we're not going to do. But, okay, looking at our team, looking at our board here, I mean, Boomer's someone who made a roster change. And, again, we count that pretty high. That you look at the top of the table. Wico, good season, didn't have to make that change. Liam dropped to non-playing. Don't know how active he was. Roster was kind of so-so, but was performing well. Of course, Murphy, a lot going on there. Didn't have one of his players for most of the season. Skipped a game, all of that. Meanwhile, Boomer, for once, did take his team that was struggling and managed to pick it up out of that. And as you can see, they rose from 1-3 to 7-4. So, yeah, I mean, again, just feels like another good season from a mainstay in this category, and just no one else able to put up a better argument.
Yeah, Boomer consistently comes out and is active, and is productive with his team. I mean, yeah. if there is a manager in the league, I think people really look at Boomer.
Yeah.
Bro is active. Bro does scrims. Um, I don't really know how much that changed with him being non-playing, but I know he was still in there doing stuff.
Yeah.
So
I could see he was still very active and wanted his team to be the same. So, yeah,
Pretty sure he's at every game, even though he's not playing.
I
I'm
think
not
so.
mistaken.
At least for the most part. I don't know about every game, but he was there when he could be, which was a majority of them. I'm pretty sure. And even scrims, he was there too. So,
Yeah, every scrim. I know he was there for every scrim.
absolutely. Well, should we move on to our final category then?
I'm thinking so.
I guess
I'm
so.
thinking.
All
What
right.
you what you think?
I think we're good. I think we've talked about this one. Now we're good to move. So finally, we will wrap things up with Pixels MVP. Now, once again, it does come down to a lot of names in the pool. Performance will matter, results will matter, stats as well. And so, looking at it, we did come to a decision. Some might say a season late, but your season 3 Pixel MVP will go over to Mers. With, of course, JXL and Wiko being the rest of the top 3.
Yeah. I mean, not a whole lot to say. Had a really good season. Had good stats. On the number 1 team going into the playoffs. There was a lot of question, I think, between me and Doggo regarding if Mom Debbie shows up, how if he was there all season, how different, um, his stats would be. But as things are now, Mers definitely was the number 1 on that team, and being the first seed and all, I think it's very apt to give it to the man.
Absolutely. It feels like, obviously, his numbers, you don't see a lot of firsts, whatever there, but they are very good numbers. And especially without Mom Debbie there, he was the key piece of this team that played strong. Now, if Mom Debbie was there for every game, I could see that flipping, that he's not even the main part of that roster. But end of the day, he played well, he earned it. And we kind of talked about it with the other two. JXL, incredible numbers, but when Chance is there, he's the main focus, and when Chance isn't there, they don't even tend to win as much. So it just feels like he had a great season. He earned that offensive, maybe didn't have as much of an impact on the whole roster. Then we go to Wiko, and again, like we mentioned with him, pretty similar stats to Ren, just kind of shows that they both take away from each other a little bit because neither one stands out over the other. Then, of course, you can talk about, Erie's players, but BP kind of invisible before that trade comes through, not showing up to every game. Then you have Agu and Gerds, same idea, not really standing out from each other, struggling in the first part of the season. So, yeah.
I just think this is pre-recorded.
It is. It is pre-recorded.
Yeah.
100%.
We're predicting that Chance is saying this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jared, it's crazy how your team is
Jared.
4 wins worse than Mers's. That's crazy.
Your stats are great, but your team is bad. I don't know
Yeah,
what to tell
something
you.
like that.
It's Jared. It's very indicative of what your team record is. It's very important. We've always ranked that up there. If you're not kind of in that upper echelon team, how much are you really doing?
And
this is kind of
again,
where we.
I would say
said.
Mers's stats might be better than Jared's. The difference is 2 goals on 10 less shots. So he has 2 more goals, 10 less shots. He has 3 less assists. Obviously, he has a lot more saves, but the same demos. Like, they have very similar stats, but Mers did it on a team that was number 1 all season and got 4 more wins. So not taking into account the names below it, Mers just had a very good season on a team that was the best in the league, So, just not much else you can say.
Yeah, I feel like the only reason you have good stats is because your team is bad. So yours just aren't as good as Mers.
It's also true by Halio. Obviously, a good team around Mers. Like we said, No Mom Debbie kind of probably helped him, allowed him to shine. But Smurfy and Cloudsy still stepped up to a point that they were able to be number one. And he wasn't solo carrying, but he had great stats on a strong team. So, I don't know. I don't know if there's much else to say about this. We can just go back to our basic screen and we can just talk about everything as a whole. If anyone else has any questions or suggestions, maybe field those. Maybe talk about our choices in general. I don't know. Just for a
Anyone
little
except
bit.
for Jared.
True.
Boo for
True.
Koa. Boo.
I think we've talked about Jared enough. Made that clear. So,
Yeah. Just womp womp. All I'm gonna tell him.
but yeah, I think in general, like I said at the start of the stream, this was probably the hardest round of awards. We
Yeah.
went in when we had the meeting to talk about and decide these. It started with, so who is going to win these? Versus most other seasons, you've gone in and be like, okay, so we have Nerd Justin, Yak, Stewie. Who else is in this? You know, you have Mers in there. Like, it's been like a top 3, top 4. How do we pare this down? Who gets what? This season, it was, so what names can we throw in there?
Yeah, it's usually the most time, or the thing that takes up the most time of discussion is usually defensive player, because they're usually
Mhm.
not going to be the ones that are on the top of the stat list, because usually the people on the top of the stat list are on teams that aren't very good. So it's usually we sit there and talk about who we think defensive players should be. But we took a lot of time this last week here to pick both MVPs and offensive players. A lot more than we usually do, where we usually have like 3 names and debate about the 3 names.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely harder. And with Couch having his schedule, it was really just me, Doggo, and Bacon as the hawk over our shoulder. But
Stewie, very briefly.
that provided no contextual insight.
Hey,
that
I
helped
was
at all.
there for a good
Well,
like 5 minutes.
I would say it helped again because we didn't. So at that point, we were between Koa and I, and we were like, where do we go? We asked Bacon, and he basically just said, make sure that these are the 2 you want because you're both in the deciding. Then we brought in Stewie, gave him no info, just said, who would you pick for defensive? And he came down to the same 2. So didn't help us decide, but kind of confirmed that we were on the right path. And then it was Couch's final word that kind of pushed it. So that one definitely took a lot, but yeah, it was all of them. That I didn't particularly expect Boston's name to pop up so strong. Wasn't sure who else would pop up in there. So this was a hard crop of names, but I think I'm pretty happy with where we ended up.
Yeah. Yeah. I've kind of run out of things to say. So,
yeah. And our only
I think
message
we
has just
can.
been Chance saying holy yap, so
And it's AI, so
Yep.
I can confirm it's not AI. We just
Can you?
like the app. So
That's crazy.
he's
All
thinking.
pre-recorded.
yeah, it's all pre-recorded.
What just happened?
I knew he would talk
Boston
about
disappeared.
AI or something.
Boston, you missed that one. You missed that one.
Shut up, Shade. You smell like cheese.
I saw that JX come up, Doggo. I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't take the Pixel ones off because I knew I wasn't going back to the scenes. So
Yep, congratulations, Boston. Not rigged, Jared.
Panda, finish
Matchup
that
bad.
thought.
I have no idea.
You said community manager of the season, which doesn't exist, unfortunately. But yeah, I have no idea.
What?
Yeah, I have no idea.
None of us in this call were involved in that decision making, so can't tell you. It's probably Lemon again, for sure.
You know what? You're kind of right, Shade. Probably didn't need Stewie. Didn't really. He kind of just sat there, but
Man, I just was
He
He
here,
bullied
you
Koa
know?
a little bit
Yeah, boo, Koa. Boo.
in the
That was
present
bad.
tense shade.
acknowledge me. Put your ones up, Shade.
I ain't putting no ones up. You're bad.
How dare you?
You're a fraud.
Yeah, that's why we fucking beat the shit out of your team.
There's a 1.
Okay.
Hey, whoa, hey. Listen, my team's getting my revenge story.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
You're outnumbered,
Revenge
but we'll see.
You are outnumbered on this test.
Maybe just a tad, yeah.
You also aren't
It's fine.
playing, so you have no control. But hey, we'll see.
Hey, listen. I'll just sub in.
So your team is disqualified.
No.
You are not a rostered player.
That's just not fair.
Too late. Unlucky.
Okay. Womp womp.
Yep, womp.
I'm a womp womp of you.
All right, that's enough of that. All right, thanks guys for.
Oh, that's true, Shade. I think, yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys for coming out. We had fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the awards show. I had a good time. Anyone else have anything to say before we end the stream here?
Well, Chance is wondering if we like fruit.
If you send me another GIF of an apple or something, dude, I'm
yeah,
actually
yeah,
gonna lose
Yeah,
it.
that's my answer,
Yeah,
too.
let's not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I will not answer. I'll just say, okay, I will say no.
Oh, he's DMing us fruit.
He said if so. So that's if you say yes. So I'm going to
No,
go
I
with
do not like
no.
fruit. Fruit's the worst.
All right.
damn it.
Well, unless you guys have any final thoughts, I'll go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you, doggo.
So true, Stewie. All right. Thank you guys again. I'm going to definitely wrap things up.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Now, again, if you have any questions about the winners, you can always put them in the Discord. It'll be very healthy and productive dialogue, I am sure. Then, again, I will post the list of winners in the 8NL updates channel, just like I did last season. So we'll be there for that. That's anyone who missed it, all of that. I'm sure roles will be given out at some point as well. But yeah, again, I'm pretty happy with where we ended up on things. This was a pretty tough season, but I think I like our reasoning. I like our winners. And again, any questions, you can ask them in the Discord. You know, it'll be parroting the same answers probably, but you know, we can get there. Either way, thank you to everyone who tuned in. A little bit shorter than last season, but we kind of expected that. And again, a reminder that the All-Star games are both tomorrow night, with Prism at 8 and then Pixel following that, probably 9:15, 9:30. But that does it for our awards ceremony. Again, hope to see you tomorrow night for the All-Stars. But we'll see you then if we do. That does it tonight. See you tomorrow. I'm repeating myself. I'm stuck. I don't know. But All-Stars tomorrow. Be there. Yep.